Welcome to today's episode of Money Map Studios. I'm Graham, and with me is Maya. Today we're diving into one of the most hyped up financial topics out there, passive income. You've seen it everywhere. TikTok gurus, flashy YouTube ads, Instagram influencers telling you they make thousands of dollars while doing absolutely nothing. But let's be real. Is that true, or are most of these promises just modern scams?
Yeah, passive income is often sold as this magical ticket to financial freedom. People love the idea of making money while they sleep, but the fantasy version and the real version are two completely different things. There are definitely legitimate ways to earn ongoing income, but they're rarely as quick, easy, or glamorous as social media makes them look.
Exactly, and that's what we're here to unpack. Over this episode, we're going to separate fact from fiction. First, we'll define what passive income really means. Then we'll highlight the biggest scams you need to avoid. After that, we'll get into the methods that actually work. And finally, we'll give some real-world advice on how to start building passive income responsibly.
All right, so let's clear up the biggest misconception right away. Passive income doesn't mean zero effort. It doesn't mean you just click a button and the money rolls in forever. The correct way to think about it is this. Passive income is money that continues to flow with less active work after the initial setup.
Yes, and that initial setup is the part most people gloss over. Real passive income almost always takes one of three things: time, money, or skills. Sometimes it takes all three. If someone is promising that you can get rich in 30 days with none of those, that's a huge red flag.
Take rental properties, for example. You might earn monthly income from tenants, but you're still responsible for repairs, taxes, and filling vacancies. Unless you hire a property manager, which costs money, it's not truly hands-off. It's more like semi-passive.
Exactly. Or take dividends from stocks. You can absolutely earn money just for holding shares, but to build a dividend portfolio that pays anything meaningful, you need significant capital up front. Again, not free, not instant.
So the key takeaway for part one, passive income exists, but it's not a magical shortcut. If you hear zero effort, zero risk, instant results, you're being sold a dream, not a strategy.
So let's talk about the dark side, scams, because let's be honest, the phrase passive income has become one of the easiest hooks for con artists. It's like catnip. They know people want freedom, so they dress up get-rich-quick schemes with the words automated, hands-free, or done for you.
Exactly. One of the biggest ones out there right now is the so-called Amazon Automation Store. You've probably seen ads where someone says, "I'll build you a store. You don't lift a finger, and it'll make $10,000 a month." What they don't mention is that you're the one footing the bill for inventory, fees, and often massive startup costs. Most of the time, people never even recover their initial investment.
Yes, and I've spoken with folks who bought into those. They're promised this hands-off income stream, but months later, they're staring at debt and a store that barely moves any products. The truth is, if someone else is doing all the work for you, why would they hand over the profit instead of just keeping it themselves?
Another classic one is the online course or mentorship trap. Now, to be clear, not every course is a scam. Education is valuable. But when someone says, "Pay me $5,000 and I'll show you my secret passive income system that works for everyone," that's when you should run. 9 times out of 10, the only person making passive income is the course seller.
Right, and it's usually repackaged common knowledge. Like they'll tell you, start a YouTube channel or sell digital products, which sure can work, but you don't need to pay thousands of dollars to hear that. You can learn the basics online for free.
Then there's crypto schemes. I'm not talking about legitimate investing, but those coins and tokens you hear hyped on Telegram groups or sketchy Discord servers. They'll say, "Stake this coin and earn 1,000% APY." Sounds amazing until the coin collapses overnight and you're left holding the bag.
Yeah, the classic pump and dump. By the time regular people hear about it, the insiders have already made their money and moved on.
And we can't forget multi-level marketing. These companies disguise themselves as business opportunities where you can earn passive income from building a team. In reality, you're pressured to recruit more people, buy overpriced products, and the only ones profiting are the folks at the very top.
So here's the bottom line. If something promises insane returns, no risk, and no effort, it's not passive income. It's a trap. Real opportunities don't come packaged in flashy ads or pressure tactics.
Exactly. If you feel rushed to make a decision or if the pitch sounds too good to be true, trust your gut. Scams thrive on urgency and FOMO. Slow down, do your research, and remember, sustainable wealth doesn't come overnight.
All right, let's shift gears. We've torn apart the scams, but passive income isn't all smoke and mirrors. There are legitimate ways to build it. It's just that they're usually slower, more effort-driven upfront, and not nearly as flashy as the scams make it sound.
Exactly. Let's start with one of the classics, dividend investing. If you buy shares of stable companies that pay dividends, you literally get paid just for owning stock. It's one of the oldest and most reliable forms of passive income. The catch? You need capital. If you invest $1,000, you might earn $30 to $50 a year. Not life-changing, but if you keep reinvesting over decades, it compounds.
That's the key. It's not instant. It's planting a tree that takes years to grow, but eventually it gives shade and fruit. Another example, real estate. Buying a rental property can generate steady monthly cash flow. But again, it requires upfront money, careful research, and ongoing responsibility. Even if you hire a property manager, you're still the one on the hook for repairs, taxes, and market swings.
Then there's digital products. This is where the internet has really opened up opportunities. Think ebooks, online templates, stock photos, or even music. You put in the work once, and then the product can keep selling with minimal extra effort. That's one of the most modern, scalable forms of passive income if you can create something people actually want.
And content creation in general can lead to passive income. A YouTube video you post today could still be earning ad revenue 3 years later. Same with a blog that ranks on Google. But don't be fooled, it takes months, sometimes years of consistent effort before you start seeing significant returns.
Another one worth mentioning, affiliate marketing. That's when you recommend products or services and earn a commission for every sale. It can be very passive once you've built an audience, but just like content creation, the challenge is building trust and traffic. You can't slap affiliate links on a random site and expect money to pour in.
Right, and let's not forget royalties. Authors, musicians, software developers, they can all earn passive income from their work long after it's finished. It's proof that creativity and skills can absolutely become assets.
The thread that ties these all together is this. Real passive income comes from assets, whether financial assets like stocks, physical assets like property, or intellectual assets like content. Each one takes upfront effort, and each comes with risk, but they have the potential to create ongoing income.
So while scams sell the idea of quick, effortless wealth, the truth is slower and less glamorous, but it's also way more sustainable.
You know, Graham, I think one of the best ways to bring this home is through real stories. Because theory is nice, but hearing how people actually tried passive income, both wins and fails, makes it real.
Totally agree. I'll start with myself. A few years ago, I bought into the dream of rental real estate. I thought, one property and I'll be set. What I didn't factor in, tenants who missed rent, a leaking roof that cost thousands, and the stress of unexpected repairs. Now, I still made money in the long run, but it wasn't the effortless paycheck I had imagined. It taught me that even the good passive income ideas come with headaches.
That's such a great point. My story is on the digital side. I wrote an ebook and uploaded it online. For months, nothing happened. Sales trickled in, like one copy every other week. Honestly, I almost gave up. But then I revamped the cover, invested in some marketing, and suddenly it started selling consistently. It doesn't pay my bills, but it's this cool reminder that something I created once can keep generating income.
I've heard similar stories with YouTube. People spend a year uploading videos, barely getting views, then suddenly one video takes off and their old videos start earning too. But what no one sees is the hundreds of hours they put in before that breakthrough.
And on the flip side, I also know a friend who fell for a so-called passive income system. She paid thousands for this course promising an automated Shopify store. She worked so hard, but the platform was oversaturated, the ads were expensive, and she never even made her investment back. It was heartbreaking because she thought she had found her golden ticket.
That's a really common pitfall. People underestimate the upfront grind or overestimate the profits. They either get discouraged too soon, or worse, they get scammed before they even have a chance.
Yeah, and sometimes the mindset is the biggest trap. Passive income isn't about laziness, it's about leverage. It's about setting up systems, assets, or creations that eventually work for you. But if you go in expecting instant riches, you'll either burn out or get ripped off.
Exactly. The people who succeed are the ones who treat it like building a long-term project, not buying a lottery ticket.
So the big lesson from our stories is passive income works, but only if you respect the process. There will be upfront effort, setbacks, and risks. The people who stick with it and adapt are the ones who see it pay off over time.
All right, let's bring this all together. We've talked about the scams, the legit methods, and even shared some stories of how passive income actually plays out in real life. Now, let's get practical. If someone's listening right now and thinking, okay, I want to start, but where do I even begin? What should they do?
First thing, get your foundation right. If you don't have an emergency fund, if you're drowning in high-interest debt, chasing passive income shouldn't be your priority yet. Build stability first, because passive income streams can take time before they actually produce cash flow.
Exactly. Step 2 is education. Research the area you're interested in, whether that's investing, real estate, or creating digital products. Don't just take advice from the loudest voice on social media. Read books, listen to podcasts, talk to people who are doing it successfully. Knowledge is your filter against scams.
And start small. Too many people go all in on some idea and end up losing money. If you want to try dividend investing, start with a few $100s and see how it works. If you're curious about digital products, create something simple before investing thousands in ads or software. Small experiments teach you the ropes without wrecking your finances.
I'd also say play the long game. If your mindset is, how can I make $5,000 this month, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But if your mindset is, what can I build over the next 3 to 5 years that will slowly snowball, you're approaching it the right way.
Another tip, don't chase 10 passive income streams at once. Pick one, focus on it, and give it time to grow. Once it's steady, then you can diversify. Too many people spread themselves thin and never get traction anywhere.
And the last piece is patience. Passive income is powerful because it compounds. The work you put in today might not pay off for months or even years, but if you stick with it, you'll thank yourself later.
I like to think of it like gardening. You can't plant a seed today and eat fruit tomorrow. You water it, you nurture it, and eventually you get a harvest. Passive income is the same.
And that's the truth. It's not glamorous, it's not instant, but it's real. And if you approach it wisely, it can give you financial freedom over time.
Couldn't have said it better myself.